So you've been keeping fish for a long time and you've always been looking for that magic formula that's going to get your fish to grow really fast. Well, it may be a little simpler than you might think. That's what we're going to talk about on this episode of Tank Talk. Hey folks, it's John with KGTropicals.com. It's Sunday, October 26th, 2014. Welcome to this edition of Tank Talk. As you see, sitting in the new corner of the studio, really excited about this. Don't have anything to update you on as far as this tank goes yet, because with last week, with going to graduation for Lisa's son and all of that, it was a crazy week. We did not get to do anything else to this tank. As you see, the stand still isn't painted. Still don't have the backdrop up behind it. It's a work in progress. We will get there, I promise. And I'm going to put some angels in that tank. I'm really excited about it. Complete change from what you're used to seeing from this channel. So, and I hope you loved the new super secret project that we released on Wednesday. I'm excited about it. I'm really happy for Lisa that she's finally got her confidence. She feels good about this and she's excited about putting a series of videos together for her. You know, she talks about having this, her own YouTube studio. Folks, the tank is right there. It's right there. I can touch it. So she doesn't have her own studio. We're sharing this and we do still have some work to do with the lighting and stuff like that, but we will refine everything and get you a really nice looking studio for her. And all in all, I mean, it's going to be easier to look at her anyway. So, you know, it's going to be a beautiful thing to be able to see her on video. Really excited about it. Hope you enjoyed it too. So let's talk about how you can get your fish to grow really fast. So I got an email a while back from T Sheffield 510. He sent his email in to kgqna@gmail.com. I'll put the email address right there so that you can see it. Send in your questions and I'll either answer them on a Q&A series or maybe one of these videos. You never know, but just go ahead and send it in. So he says, I really enjoy your videos. Thank you so much for sharing. Not sure if you've made a video on how to get your cichlids to grow bigger and better, but would love to see one. I really haven't. I mean, I did a video a while back. It was like a year and a half ago now, or maybe a year. I don't know. I can't keep track of time. When I did my African cichlid breeding series, I did do an episode all about growing out the fry. So that could be a reference for this, but we're going to talk about it here today. Again, revisiting old topics. And to this guy, it is a new topic. I don't know this guy's name, so I have to refer to him as this guy. So the first thing that I want to say to you folks is I am not going to give you some magic formula, this special food, this special ingredient that's going to make your fish grow like they're on steroids. Folks, there really is no way of doing that. What we're going to talk about today is the common sense approach to getting your fish to grow as fast as they naturally can without introducing any kind of crazy recipes or crazy foods. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what you need to do to get your fish to grow as fast as possible. All right, let's use some common sense here, folks. Fish are no different than any other living thing. In the right environment, if the conditions are right, they're going to grow and thrive and grow very fast, faster than you can even blink. If the conditions are poor, they're going to grow very slow and it's going to be very frustrating. And you're going to be sending emails to me saying, how can you make your fish grow faster? Not accusing you of anything, T Sheffield 510, just saying that's what happens here, folks. A lot of times people don't do their job and the fish grow really slow. It's your fault, not the fish. But let's talk about some of the things to think about when you're wanting to get your fish to grow at the optimal rate. It might, again, seem like common sense, but let's talk about it anyway. So there's three things I want you to think about when you're trying to get your fish to grow super fast. The first is tank size. Next is diet. And the third is water parameters. Now, water parameters, I'm not just talking about pH and GH and KH and all that. I'm also talking about the cleanliness of the water. But let's talk about tank size first. So when you're talking about optimal growth for your fish, tank size is absolutely critical. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know why that is. I don't understand the science behind it. All I know is that if you put fish in a bigger tank, they grow much faster. This is why you see farms, they don't raise fish in small aquariums. They do it in 3,000-gallon ponds. So the bigger the vessel that you put your fish in, the faster they're going to grow. So if you're new to this and you're just getting into it, do some research before you put your fish in the tank. See what the maximum tank size is for that fish. Or some might say minimum, but go for the maximum. If you have an Oscar, don't just put the minimum amount of tank size. get the biggest tank you possibly can. Not only will they get to grow a lot faster, but they're also going to get to grow to their full potential. So tank size is critical. Again, I'm not going to act like I know why. Next thing we're going to talk about is diet. And I know there's a lot of people out there that try their best to really overcomplicate this whole thing when it comes to diet for your fish. But I'm going to tell you this, just use common sense. When you're researching a fish that you want to buy, or you already have a fish and you want to know if you're feeding them the right food, find out what that fish requires. If they're a carnivore, they're going to require food that's really high in protein. If they're an herbivore, they're going to want food that's lower in protein, higher in veggie content. So look for those specific diets that your fish requires. If you have different fish, this is a question that I get all the time. Well, I have herbivores and carnivores in the tank. What should I do? That makes things a little more complicated. However, one of the things I will say is that as far as cichlids go, and even tropical fish, community fish, things like that, most of your prepared food, your manufactured food out there by brands like Hikari and all of these other brands, they're made to kind of run the gamut as far as all of the different types of fish. There's something in there for everybody, and it's meant to be a staple diet that all you have to do is feed that particular food, and it's good for everybody. But again, if you want the optimal growth, then you want to look for a food that is high in whatever content your fish needs a high content of. So check that out. It's not hard to do. I'm not going to put up a list of every kind of fish and every kind of diet. I can't do that, but it's something that is common sense. There's tons of different stuff out there, but if you just use common sense, it shouldn't be that difficult to figure out the diet that your fish needs. Okay, the last thing is water parameters. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not just talking about pH, GH, KH, and all of that. I'm also talking about the cleanliness of your water. Again, this should be common sense, but if your tank is really dirty, your tank is scummy and it's full of mud and it's gross, your fish is going to grow, but they're not going to grow very fast. They're going to grow as if the water is nice and fresh and clean. Common sense, keep the tank clean. Do your job, and you will be providing your fish with the optimal environment to grow really fast. Now, when we are talking about things like pH, GH, KH, you're going to want, again, to do your research. There's tons of websites out there that will tell you what your fish requires. Some examples, Discus. Now, Discus, it's up for debate because they have been tank raised for so long that a lot of your Discus out there, particularly your European Discus, will thrive in a range of pH. But if you're getting fish that are close to wild caught or wild caught Discus, they're going to require a very low pH, a very acidic water. So look at your fish that you want to keep, find out the kind of parameters that they like. Do they like it hard? Do they like it soft? What kind of temperature do they like? Set your temperatures, set your pH and all of that. I'm not going to get into all of the different ways of adjusting pH. Set that up to the optimal level for those particular fish. So if you have your water parameters set, your water is clean, you're giving them the right diet, and they're in as big a tank as possible, that's the way you're going to get your fish to grow at their fastest. Now, there's some people that would make the argument you should vary their diet. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. I'm just one of those people that doesn't buy the fact that you have to give them a mixture of different things. The prepared foods out there, the foods that you can buy over the shelf from brands like Hikari and Southern Delight and Extreme, these are foods that are manufactured with all of the ingredients in it that your fish need. Do you vary your dog's food? I bet you don't. Most people give their dog the same food all day, every day. But with fish, for some reason, they want to go out and throw 3 different types of food in there every single day. I don't think it's necessary because, like I said, these foods are prepared to have everything in them that your fish needs. If your fish is eating it and they're aggressively going after it, they like it. So all is good. You don't need to worry about varying it. Now, I'm not trying to start an argument here. I know there's a lot of people that believe wholeheartedly that you should give them different things at different times of the day. That's fine. I'm not telling you it's wrong. I'm just telling you that I don't think that it's necessary. And the farm where I buy my fish from that are huge and beautiful and have the most beautiful colors you've ever seen, they feed them the same food all the time. So that's got to tell you something. From the time they're born until the time they sell them to me, and then even until I sell them to you, they eat the same food all the time. So varied diet, I'm not into it. But if you have the money and you can go out there and buy all these different foods, it's certainly not going to hurt them. I just don't think that it's necessary. So I hope this helps you clear up some of the mysteries out there of how to get your fish to grow really fast. It's not rocket science, folks. Just do your job. That's all you have to do, and your fish are going to grow really fast. So thank you so much for watching this. Like I said, expect a little bit more information on this tank here behind me, probably next week, I hope. And be looking for Lisa's new Mbuna series. Really excited about that. That's going to go up every single Wednesday. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week.